Here's the thing about reliability. People don't just buy a vehicle, they buy a promise. And with SUVs, that promise is everything. You're putting your family in it. You're financing it for 6 years. You're trusting that if you do your part, the vehicle does its part. And for the 7 SUVs on this list, owners did everything right. Oil changes on time, dealer maintenance, no abuse, no neglect, no off-roading disasters, and they're still getting hit with repair bills that make no sense. These aren't obscure models. These aren't bottom-of-the-barrel budget SUVs nobody's ever heard of. These are some of the most trusted names in the business, SUVs that people bought specifically because they believed the reputation. Today, I'm counting down 7 SUVs that were purchased for reliability and are now draining bank accounts. And number 1 might be the most frustrating on the list, because the problems never stop. Let's get into it. Number 7, Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorer, family-proof, police-tested, built Ford tough. This thing has been on American roads for over 30 years, and for a lot of buyers, it's the default family SUV. You'd think by now they'd have it figured out. Here's the problem. On many of the V6 models, Ford decided to put the water pump inside the engine. Not on the outside where you can see it, access it, and replace it in an afternoon. Buried deep inside the block. So when that pump fails, and it does, coolant starts mixing with engine oil. There's no puddle on the driveway, no temperature gauge spiking, no warning at all until the damage is already done. One owner on an Explorer forum said he brought it in for a routine oil change, and the tech told him his oil looked like a chocolate milkshake. Engine was toast, 62,000 miles. We're talking about a part that costs maybe $100, but because of where Ford buried it, the labor to get to it runs $3,000 to $4,000. And if the damage has already spread, full engine replacement. $5,000 to $6,000, easy. $100 pump hidden behind a $4,000 teardown. That's the Explorer's dirty secret. Number 6, Jeep Grand Cherokee. The Grand Cherokee has always had that rugged credibility. Strong engines, trail-capable, proven platform. People buy these expecting decades of use, and then the air suspension decides it's done. If your Grand Cherokee came equipped with the Quadra-Lift air suspension, you're looking at one of the most expensive maintenance surprises in the SUV market. When those air springs fail, and on higher mileage units, they absolutely do, you're not replacing a simple shock absorber. You're dealing with compressors, airlines, height sensors, and electronic modules that all have to talk to each other. Repair costs? $2,000 to $4,000, depending on how many components are involved. And here's the kicker, the system often fails in stages. One corner sags first, then another. Then the compressor burns out trying to compensate. But it doesn't stop there. Electrical gremlins are a well-documented issue on these. Random warning lights, module failures, sensor malfunctions. One owner described it as playing whack-a-mole with dashboard warnings. And the transmission? On higher mileage units, owners report harsh shifting, hesitation, and in some cases, complete failure. These problems don't creep in slowly. They hit all at once, usually right after the warranty expires. It drove great until it didn't. That's the Grand Cherokee ownership experience for too many people. Number 5, Toyota Highlander. Now, this one's going to upset some people, because when you say Toyota, most buyers hear bulletproof, and for a long time, that was earned. But the Highlander has a few skeletons in the closet that Toyota loyalists don't want to talk about. Certain V6 model years have a well-documented oil consumption problem. We're not talking about a slight burn. We're talking about owners adding a quart every 1,000 miles, and Toyota calling it within normal range. That's a direct quote from multiple dealer service reports, by the way. Then you've got the later direct injection models dealing with carbon buildup on the intake valves. This is an industry-wide issue with direct injection, but for buyers who expected Toyota to be immune to it, it's a rude awakening. Intake cleaning runs several $100s, and it's not a one-time fix. It comes back, and the newer generations? Transmission hesitation complaints are piling up. Owners describe a delay between pressing the gas and the vehicle actually responding. Not dangerous every time, but unsettling when you're merging onto a highway. None of these are catastrophic, single-event failures. And that's actually what makes it worse, the slow bleed. Constant top-offs, the recurring maintenance. The ownership cost that creeps up quietly over years until you realize this bulletproof Toyota has been nickel and diming you the entire time. Number 4. Chevrolet Tahoe. The Tahoe, America's workhorse, tow king. The SUV people buy when they need something that'll last 200,000 miles without blinking. And for a lot of Tahoes, that's exactly what happens. But GM introduced a feature called active fuel management, cylinder deactivation, designed to save fuel by shutting down half the cylinders under light load. Sounds great on paper. In practice, it's an engine killer. The lifters in the AFM system are a known failure point. When they collapse, and this isn't rare, it's widespread, they take the camshaft with them. And once that happens, you're not replacing a part, you're tearing down the engine. Repair estimates? $4,000 to $8,000. On a vehicle that was maintained by the book, every service on time, never towed over capacity. Still getting hit with this. You seriously can't make this stuff up. A feature designed to save you a few bucks at the gas pump ends up costing you the engine. GM has issued service bulletins. Aftermarket companies sell AFM delete kits. And mechanics across the country know exactly what's happening when a Tahoe rolls in with a ticking noise from the top end. The worst part? Many owners don't know about it until the tick starts. And by then, the damage is already underway. Number 3. Honda CR-V. The CR-V might be the single most safe buy SUV in America. Simple, efficient, holds its value. Everyone's mom drives one. It's the default recommendation. But certain turbocharged models, particularly the 1.5T, have a fuel dilution problem that Honda has never fully resolved. Here's what happens. Unburned fuel washes past the piston rings and mixes with the engine oil. Over time, the oil level actually rises on the dipstick. That sounds harmless, until you realize that diluted oil loses its protective properties. It's not lubricating the way it should. This is especially bad in cold climates, where short trips don't allow the engine to reach full operating temperature. The fuel never burns off, and the oil gets thinner and thinner. Honda acknowledged the issue. They released software updates. They extended some warranties. But owners on CR-V forums will tell you the problem was reduced, not eliminated. What does this mean long-term? More frequent oil changes, accelerated internal wear, and a nagging feeling that your reliable Honda is slowly eating itself from the inside. One owner put it perfectly. I didn't buy a CR-V to worry about my oil level every 2 weeks. Number 2. Nissan Pathfinder. The Pathfinder used to be a body-on-frame truck. Now it's a family crossover. And for a lot of buyers, that transition came with a nasty surprise: the CVT transmission. Nissan's continuously variable transmission has been the subject of lawsuits, recalls, and more forum complaints than almost any other single component in the SUV market. And the Pathfinder, especially earlier CVT generations, got hit hard. Owners report overheating during normal driving, slipping under acceleration, shuddering at highway speeds, and in the worst cases, complete loss of drive. No warning, just gone. Replacement cost? $3,500 to $6,000. And here's the part that really stings. On an older Pathfinder worth maybe $8 to $12 grand, that repair often exceeds the value of the vehicle. So owners are faced with a choice: spend more than the SUV is worth, or walk away from it entirely. Nissan extended warranties on some model years. They reprogrammed transmission software. But the core design issues persisted across multiple generations. When mechanics see a Pathfinder come in with transmission symptoms, most of them already know the diagnosis before they plug in the scanner. It's not a matter of if, it's when. That's what one transmission specialist told me. And shop failure rates back that up. Number 1, Volkswagen Atlas. And number 1 is the Volkswagen Atlas. German engineering. Family hauler. Solid on paper, competitive on price, and absolutely relentless when it comes to problems. Now, the Atlas doesn't have one catastrophic failure that defines it. No single engine flaw, no headline-grabbing recall. And honestly, that's what makes it worse. Because instead of one big repair, Atlas owners get hammered with a constant stream of smaller ones that never seem to end. Electrical gremlins are the headline here. Infotainment systems freezing, rebooting, or going black. Sensor malfunctions triggering false warnings. Modules failing and requiring dealer-level diagnostics. just to figure out what's going on, before they even start fixing anything. One owner on a VW forum described his first 2 years of ownership as a revolving door at the dealership. Another said they stopped counting after the 5th service visit in 14 months. And here's what makes the Atlas #1 on this list: the problems stack. It's never just the screen. It's the screen, and a sensor, and a warning light, and a module update that creates a new issue. Owners describe a cascading effect where fixing one thing reveals or triggers the next. Under warranty, you survive. But the moment that coverage ends, every visit comes with a diagnostic fee, a parts markup, and a labor bill that adds up fast. And the resale market knows it. Atlas trade-in values reflect exactly how owners feel about long-term ownership. And it's not confidence. When multiple small problems cost more than one big one, that's not unreliability. That's death by 1,000 cuts. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Reliability doesn't mean zero problems. It never did. Every vehicle has weak points, design compromises, and components that wear out. But what separates a reliable SUV from an expensive mistake is whether those problems are predictable, affordable, and manageable, or whether they blindside you after years of trusting the badge on the hood. Every SUV on this list was bought by someone who did their homework. They read the reviews, they checked the ratings, they followed the maintenance schedule, and they still got burned, because reputation lags reality, sometimes by years. The lesson here isn't don't buy SUVs. It's this: the name on the grille is not a warranty. Talk to the mechanics who actually work on these, not the salespeople who move them. That's where the real reliability data lives. Now I want to hear from you. Which one on this list surprised you the most? And if you own one of these, what's your experience been? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If this helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.